You want to hit a disabled person? Then enjoy spending the next 30 years of your life behind bars. That's exactly what happened when a woman decided she was above the law and above common decency. She thought she could intimidate me, hurt me, and get away with it. But what she didn't realize was that her entire life was about to unravel, one reckless decision at a time. If you've ever believed in the power of karma, or that justice eventually catches up with those who think they're untouchable, then this story will hit you right in the soul. Smash that like button, subscribe for more true revenge stories, and let's dive into a tale where arrogance met reality, and reality hit back harder than anyone expected. I never thought that taking a few photos would change the entire course of someone's life. But here's the thing. Sometimes it's not just about what happens to you in the moment, but what the consequences of someone's cruelty can set into motion. Let me take you back to January. I live with a disability. Specifically, I have a fainting disorder, POTS. That means I rely on a wheelchair. Now, it doesn't define my life, but it does mean that little things most people take for granted, like getting from your car into your apartment, can turn into major challenges when others don't respect basic rules. And in this case, it wasn't just a matter of inconvenience, it was dangerous. For months, one of my neighbors had been illegally parking her car in a fire lane. Not only was she blocking emergency access, but she often parked on the sidewalk itself, making it impossible for me to wheel into my apartment. Imagine this. You're tired, you're coming home from work, and instead of rolling into your home like anyone else, you're forced to leave your wheelchair in your car because someone couldn't be bothered to follow basic laws. It was humiliating. It was infuriating. And it was exhausting. I had complained to my landlord before, and his advice was simple. Document everything. Take photos every single time. Send them to me. So that's what I did. Every time she parked illegally, I snapped a picture. And every time, I sent it over. But on this particular night, my patience and her temper finally collided. I had just taken out my phone, snapped another photo, when suddenly her apartment door slammed open. Out came the owner of the car, and she was furious. Her voice was sharp, shrill, and dripping with rage as she screamed, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I tried to keep calm. I didn't yell back. I didn't escalate. I simply turned, ready to head inside. But she wasn't finished. She stormed right into my personal space, her face inches from mine, her spit hitting my cheek as she screamed. And here's the thing. When someone violates your space like that, when they try to physically intimidate you, it triggers something primal, a reflex. I shoved her back. Not hard, just enough to create space. But that's when everything snapped. Her eyes went wild, like I had just committed the gravest sin imaginable. Without hesitation, she lunged forward, her hand wrapping around my throat. I felt the pressure immediately, the panic rising in my chest as her acrylic nails dug into my skin. Then came the fists, blow after blow. My head snapped back, my body jolted under the force of her punches. And the worst part? I couldn't even properly defend myself. Seconds felt like hours. My heart was racing, my vision was blurring, and somewhere deep down, panic mixed with rage. Was this really happening? Was I, someone already struggling with my health, being beaten outside my own home just for taking a damn photo? Finally, salvation came. My roommate and a couple of neighbors who had been outside smoking ran over. They pulled her off me. My neck was bleeding from where her nails had raked across my skin. The police were called. Paramedics showed up. And to top it all off, my body betrayed me. Right there in front of the paramedics, I fainted, my POTS kicking in from the stress. That was my breaking point. I wasn't going to let this slide. When I pressed charges, I thought the most I could expect was an aggravated assault case. Maybe, if the stars aligned, she'd get some community service or probation. But I also knew something else. I knew that in her apartment, mounted on the wall, was a gun, and I knew she was a convicted felon. That detail, just that one fact, made me insist the police arrest her at home. and that decision changed everything. The police went in expecting to arrest her for assault. But what they found, that was the start of her entire world unraveling. First, the car she had been driving, the one she kept blocking the sidewalk with, was stolen. No insurance, no license. She had no legal right to even be behind the wheel. Second, when the officers stepped inside her apartment, they found the gun. Not only was she a felon, but the gun itself was marked stolen. Third, and this one made my blood boil, they found used needles scattered throughout the apartment. And living in that environment in the middle of all that chaos was her, 8-year-old child. Think about that for a moment. Not only was she reckless with her life, but she was exposing her own child to drugs, stolen property, and violence. The police didn't hesitate. Child Protective Services was called. Her kid was placed in foster care. And she was hauled off to jail without bond. And, as if the universe wanted to hammer home just how much she had screwed herself, it turned out her own child had recorded the entire attack. Let that sink in. The woman literally told her child to record as she assaulted me. And what that child captured on video was undeniable, irrefutable evidence of her guilt. Combine that with her history, 7 prior counts of assault in just the past 5 years, and the district attorney didn't even blink. This wasn't going to be probation. This wasn't going to be a slap on the wrist. This was going to be decades behind bars. Fast forward to just 2 days ago. My phone rang. On the other end was the district attorney. They laid it out for me. Clearly, this woman, the same one who thought she could intimidate me, who thought she could treat the law like her personal doormat, was looking at 30 years. Minimum. 30 years. Her child is in foster care. She's lost her home. Her car is gone. Her freedom is gone. And all of it started because she thought she could hit a disabled man and walk away with no consequences. When I hung up that phone, I didn't feel joy exactly. It wasn't happiness. What I felt was vindication. Because here's the truth. I didn't ruin her life. She did. She stacked the deck against herself over and over again. Through drugs, through violence, through selfishness. All I did was finally stand my ground. All I did was say, enough. And the result? Justice. This story isn't just about revenge. It's about boundaries. It's about respect. And it's about the truth that sooner or later, people who think they're above consequences get hit with the full weight of reality. Because when you treat others like they don't matter, eventually you find out that you don't matter to the system that judges you either. So, what do you think? Was 30 years enough or was it too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. And if you've ever witnessed karma work its magic, share that story too. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more tales where justice is served, and hit that bell icon so you never miss the next one. Until then, remember, respect costs nothing, but disrespect can cost you everything.